stealing from us for the longest time.
Absolutely.
And now it's like, oh well, I want to have a ball. So they have these inclusive events where, and I'm not pressed to go, so I'm going to put that out there now. But they have these inclusive events where they bring people on that they think are like the mahas of the categories, or these are the beings of the category. So they bring these people over, and then when they meet the real thing of the category, they're like, oh well, I didn't even know you existed. I thought, well, I thought you was Andre Duck. Oh, Andre Duck is the supreme Vogue femme, but then you meet a real bitch, and you like, no, bitch, I'm the real Vogue femme.
So since you said that, how do you feel about celebrities judging the ball?
It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
Sometimes I feel like we don't need to sell ourselves to them, because at the same time,
they're like coming into our world.
They're coming into our world.
Right.
So you might be Cardi B, but bitch, I'm Jason P. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you might be Tamar Braxton, but I'm Sanaya Ebony. So, and it's interesting because when they come to our scene, we idolize them. They should be idolizing us.
Right.
Because y'all here to study, to steal, to take, and to go into the quote-unquote reality realm, and you got a bitch like Nene walking around using all of our vocabulary and all of our lingo, and she ain't, oh yeah, Nene was the one that said shade first. No, she wasn't.
Okay, but flip side, what about those that really admire the scene and they come and they watch
You can admire, but you don't have to emulate or imitate.
I mean, they say imitation of, you know, high form of
Yeah, but don't imitate it to the point where those bitch, they think that's you.
You created it.
You ain't created. But you don't know who you are yet?
I do think that, like, sometimes, like, certain celebrities are judging certain things. I'm like, do you understand this? You know.
Now, you understand what you're judging?
I think, what about realness? Think they can judge realness? I mean.
I think that's a category they can judge.
Why? Why?
Because, bitch, does she look like a girl?
But, see.
But let me ask you this.
What does that mean?
But is realness, let me ask you a question. Now, this point in the game, do you think that realness is a problematic category?
Realness is a problematic category, and especially with the trans experience, because you can no longer base a trans woman off based on the fact that she's real. Because she might not be real. And let's be real here. For years, there has been biological women who look like transgenders. Keeping it funky. Like, so you can't... Realness is a problematic category. It's been a problematic category because it's an act. Let's be real. Some of our top realness icons is queens, bitch. It's all an act.
Man.
Don't do that to my father.
I'm just playing.
Don't do that. James.
Down.
No, but it's all an act. It ain't real. Like, I mean, come on. It's a problematic category. But I think that even with realness with a twist, it's time that we do away with the realness part and just call it fucking twist. Junior Vogue Femme. Because they ain't getting 10s for realness.
So how do you feel about the new show Pose on FX coming out about the ballroom scene and people casted? I think it's going to be wonderful.
I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. I hope the stories are told right. I think that sometimes when we are put on those higher platforms, if the story's not told right, some people might feel some type of ways. But from the people that I know that are involved in the project, the majority of them...
Misha, can you come on, sweetheart?
I do know that the story...
We would love to invite you on this live, sweetie. You said Jason cis women, not biological women.
I'm sorry. The vocabulary, mother, is new to me. Cis women. So... Can somebody break that down? Well, Misha, can you break that down for me? Because, so, I'm a cis male, but I'm a homosexual male. So, like, where's the line with that? Because I'll still be trying to understand, like, I'm a cis male that likes men. So, I'm still a cis male, right? No, I don't understand the breakdowns and shit.
Yeah, I guess you are a cis male. Yeah, you are.
I'm a cis male, right?
And we be hating so high.
You know, but can I tell you something though? These day and age, it scares me a little bit because there's so many terms. There's so many I did LGBTI.
I
kind of liked it when it was simpler. You know what I'm saying? It's too much now. Like, to me, they all girls. How about that? They all girls. You're a girl. You're a girl. You understand what I'm saying? Now? Like, you all girls. To me, it's just too many.
Cover girl.
Put some bass in your walk.
There's just too many terms now, and then. Sexuality and gender are very different from each other.
No, we know that. I know sexuality and gender are very different.
Misha, come on to this live. Let's talk, sweetie. Come into the live.
Huh?
Sexuality and gender. You know, can I be real with y'all? And I said this before. I didn't understand the trans experience until Najir and Kaden. Najir and Kaden educated because I've always been around trans women. But back then, they didn't want to be called trans women. They wanted to just blend into society as a cis woman.
Nothing.
They just wanted to blend into society as a cis woman. They didn't want to be called a transgender. But
can I ask you a question? I promise everyone, this is not offensive.
Wait, Misha's coming on.
My Mishi?
yes.
Oh God, Mishi about to educate y'all.
No, Misha about to educate her.
Mishi, I love you, Mishi.
I'm adding it as a gift. On.
You said Michi or Misha?
Misha.
Light up, Misha. I said light skin, dark skin.
What is it doing? Misha, what is it doing? Can you do it from your phone, Jason?
It won't let me.
Let's hear it for the boys.
I'm adding her.
That's pretty.
Wait, Maya says cis denoting or relating to a molecule structure in which two particular... bitch, you better give me words.
Is that Amina?
I'm a little inebriated, so hold on.
Oh, bitch, not off this Andres you ate.
I want Misha up on here.
LaCosta said, yes, guy, I will always be a femme queen. Gender non-conformant.
Misha, what is it doing when I'm trying to add you? Like, what is it doing? Because I'm adding her, but it's not working.
But you know, it does that to me sometimes. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm mad because I want her up on here right now.
Baby.
School life. School of life. You know what's so funny? I've always had a chance to hear Misha talk. But like to be in the flesh and just hear her talk, it's kind of like you'd be like, yeah.
Honey, I've been doing it for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a live in living color.
But y'all getting dry.
Yeah, bitch, and it's almost time for me. I told you.
Oh, girl.
If I told you that.
You should get your gadgets together. Hold on.
Misha's calling you.
Misha's calling.
Hold on.
Birdman and Tony got new songs.
You're on the couch show. Hello.
What?
Hello. You talk. Speak your piece.
Huh?
Everyone can hear you speak.
Misha!
Misha!
What?
I'm not playing these games.
Misha! Misha, I love you.
I love you.
So okay. Oh, so listen, guys. So okay, I'm so glad. I'm mad that Misha's face can't be on here, but let's talk about this. Me and Misha, we talk about many different. And she had a post. So are you guys all familiar with what transpired with Genuine and? And
I'm not.
Genuine. It was a trans woman on Big Brother that basically went to go attempt to kiss Genuine, and Genuine was like, no. Like he basically was like, no, like or no.
Very nice.
Very nice. Not bashing, but just like, that's not my thing. So people immediately jumped out there and was like, oh, he's transphobic, and oh, he's not for trans. And sometimes, you know what makes me mad? I get it. Stay woke, but some of y'all be too fucking
woke, bitch.
Well, let's wait before we go into it. So I said, preference does not always equate to phobia. And it was funny because then I see a post that Misha made, and Misha feels like it was transphobic.
Really?
So, yes, she does. So I gave her a call, and usually she's very spot on. And her and I agree on a lot of things, but her and I are on totally different opposite sides of the fence. So I want her to explain why does she feel that it was transphobic, and maybe there's people out there that will feel the same way that she feel the same way about. But explain to me, Misha, why was that transphobic?
Well, one, I don't think someone can be. I don't like the word woke. I think it's really. I don't know. It's just.
Turn your phone around. The speakers are bad.
That word, but I don't think that.
Okay, turn the weight.
Especially as a black person. What you said?
No, I was turning the phone to make sure everyone, can you hear her on this live clear just to make sure? I don't want her to
waste her breath.
Yeah, I want to make sure. If all you guys can hear Misha, please let me know.
Okay.
Do you guys hear her? I repeat. Do you hear her?
They might hear me.
They hear.
They hear? Okay,
They hear
go ahead.
Yeah. No, like I don't think that you can be too woke, especially if you're a black person. Like, what does that mean? expression, I mean, for centuries, can be too woke or too affected by the stuff that they see.
Well, Misha, when I say too woke, I mean basically
Y'all always ready to protest.
it's almost like they're always ready to protest, and I get it. We are in a very sensitive time when it comes to race and gender, but it's almost like sometimes they make something out of nothing. It don't be nothing, and they make it something so big, and it be like it wasn't even that serious.
I don't think what y'all told me was serious at all.
I think when you live outside of the thing that you're critiquing, it's very easy to say that, oh, this person is maybe being a little too sensitive, because you can take a more provocative stance on something that doesn't necessarily affect you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can laugh at something that doesn't directly affect me because it doesn't directly affect me. But if there's something that affects my very existence, I'm going to be sensitive about it. I am going to say something about it because it affects my life. I think and I said it today, really, is that, a lot of what we've been taught, especially as it pertains to white oppressorship violence, is that, it's funny, right? Like the way that black folks have performed white oppressorship violence has been through comedy, has been through these light-hearted expressions that have some real violent consequences for the people who are at the other end of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this white woman, she was dead wrong for touching him. But
We're talking about Genuine, right?
Right. But I think to center the entire conversation on what her actions were, and not pay attention to the fact that, one, you're not a trans woman, and yes, it's not trans people. This is not a hegemony. I mean, we all don't agree about the same things because we don't see the things the same because of how we were brought up. There's many different reasons why we process the same thing differently, right? But just because we process things differently doesn't make what we see or what we feel wrong and someone else right. We're just processing things differently. The problem is that when we cannot be so cavalier to say, well, we're just going to disagree to agree when people's lives are at stake.
So can I ask you a question? What if you were let's speak me and you for example.
Yeah.
Let's say I leaned in to kiss you.
That's Mika. Nikia is Mika.
Let's say I leaned in to kiss you, and you told me no. So are you cisgender homosexual phobic now?
No. The difference is, now in that scenario, I'm not pushing you away because, I'm not interested in your gender. When I'm pushing you away because your touch is unwanted, right? That is unsolicited touch.
So it wouldn't be the same thing for him?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I have a right to deny that. Now, if I said I don't want you to touch me because you are such and such, that's when I'm being more discriminatory in my response, right? Now, this is the thing. Yes, she was wrong for touching him. It was dead wrong. To me, that was white privilege 101. Not only
You about to build a mountain out of a molehill, baby.
right?
But Misha, my question is this. How was that transphobic? If he's saying, listen, I'm not into, I got no problems, but I'm not into trans women.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
It doesn't matter how someone tells me to fuck off, right? If someone tells me to fuck off, they want me to fuck off. You can be nice about it if you want to, but at the end of the day, you're telling me to fuck off. How it was transphobic was that he specifically said, I date women. I don't consider you to be a woman. I would never date a transgender woman, right? So the issue is that he is completely shut down. Now, we can talk about preference all day, right? But if we're going to talk about preference, we need to talk about the things that motivate these things, right? right? Because where do we get this information from? As far as like what we like, who we are, how we show up in the world, where does that come from? And that comes from somewhere, and a lot of it comes from biases. A lot of that comes from reinforced ideas about the world that we've gotten through imagery, through television, through stories, through the media, everything, through our family, through the men in our family, through the women in our family, right? Now, if he said, oh, you know what, I've never been with a transgender woman, right? And I'm not cutting myself off from a transgender. Just because someone's transgender doesn't mean I won't date them. But that's not what happened. What he said was, I don't see you as what you say you are, and I would never date someone like you because you are not real, you are not authentic. Now, I do want to bring up something that's very, very important, is the fact that they are centering what this person did to this transphobia, right? However, what's going to happen is, and what has been happening, is that a lot of the commentary has been directed at black trans women, because the narrative is that black trans women are out here trying to trick men who are not interested in them. So now it reinforces this narrative that trans people are deceptive and not real, and therefore, you know, they don't need to be, because if you tell them no, they're going to do what they're going to do, and so you're just...
But Misha,
in your response to attack or kill this person.
But Misha, is that because if you look at what has happened in the media with some of our, now I'm not going to say all, but some of our black trans women, they have been known...
Well, don't just say black trans women, just say trans women.
But trans women, they have been known to, oh, they don't get their way, I'm going to expose you. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So automatically, they're automatically guilty by association. Not saying that's right, but that's what they do. Not all, but most.
Well, I mean, you can look at it the same way as with black people. I mean, you
Bitch, y'all got to answer for everything, darling.
You know, how media portrays black people, you know, as one way, right? We can look at it with the war on drugs. We can look at
it's going to be lighthearted, that
with
is.
incarceration. I mean, we can look at that and say that, you know, we're always judged by the imagery that gets pushed out there. Now, I will say this, that trans folks who do that and you know, and choose to go that route, for whatever reason, we have to acknowledge that that's their way of fighting back against what they felt were an injustice, right? Whether or not I agree or whether or not you agree is really not the point.